Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today and I hope everybody had a good New Year's Eve. And everyone's focused for 2021, no matter what the year brings. For the past 2 years, we've been trying to go behind the headlines of all the stories in the news. And the first story of this episode is no different. We have sent our reporter Dave Nathan down to the scene to get footage from the Newham murder on the 29th of December. This is the third story we've covered from Newham in relation to a violent crime or a murder in the past week. There is not a lot of information from the police, but we have managed to get an identification on the victim and some background story. A murder investigation has been launched following a fatal stabbing in the Newham borough. Police were called to Stondon Walk, East Ham, E6 at 3:15 on Tuesday the 29th after reports of a man being assaulted. Officers attended with London Ambulance Service and found a 28-year-old male had been stabbed and the London Air Ambulance was deployed. The man was pronounced dead at the scene and next of kin had been informed and are supported by officers. There were no arrests at this early stage and a murder investigation is underway. The public can expect to see increased police presence in the area, they said, and a Section 60 order is in effect across most of the East postcodes from E6 to E16. So I found out quite early on that the victim of this murder was a rapper from the local area called Detonayta, also known as Nayta The King. He has been named locally as Abiola Akarele and he's very popular in the East London area. I actually follow some of his friends and I even know videographers that have worked with him from Birmingham. So big up Ash on the cam for paying respects to him. Some people may not have known who he was in recent years due to the fact that back in the day he had more of a presence online. He'd featured on channels like Black Box and had also worked with various artists in the local area.
Who got the 7 bowls? We got 7 nice strippers dancing on our ice poles. Feds try question but they'll never get a statement. Man, they drive me crazy like I'm speeding on the pavement. Met a church girl but I don't know what her name is. Oh yeah, it was Grace and the sex was amazing.
We found some archive footage of him actually behind the scenes of a music video back in 2011.
I'm part of a collective called Factory East Music Group.
This girl must be crazy.
Well, this song, Put It Down, is about basically a girl that she wants to leave you and stuff, like, but she don't understand how much how much of a person you actually are.
She don't believe me when I say you hold it down.
This song was really made by me, New Miracle and Charlesy. It was at 4 a.m. March 2010. I was falling asleep on the chair and stuff, but Charlesy just played the little, that you hear in the song. Charlesy played that and I woke up and I said, no, go back to that because he skipped it, innit? And I said, go back to it. So obviously we just made the track there, 5 a.m. and it became one of our favourite songs.
And most recently, he did preview a song back in 2019 and he had the songs on his SoundCloud from 10 months ago. But I don't believe he released these on any official channels on YouTube. And his latest music did seem to be very reflective and spoke a lot about the life that he'd lived.
Been 11 years, kinda on and off, but I was pursuing different careers. Switching on the telly and seeing all of my peers and never meeting them there was the biggest of all my fears. And they probably think that I'm lazy. They probably think that I'm stuck here holding a baby. I never told them about Amy. Shit been getting to me, yeah, shit been driving me crazy. And they can't be doing music if music ain't gonna pay me.
So I'd really appreciate it if you paid respects to Nayta in this video. And I send my condolences to his family. Definitely keep you updated with any developments with this story. And in other news, stories about a triple stabbing on Edgware Road. A 17-year-old girl has been glassed and 2 teenage boys, 18 and 19, were stabbed minutes into the new year in London after an illegal party. Emergency crews rushed to the scene to find a teenage girl with a head injury and 2 men found with the wounds at 12:32. All 3 were taken to hospital and Met Police said the attacks were linked to a large number of people gathered in Connaught Street and dispersed by police. A man was arrested on suspicion of common assault during the incident and taken into custody. One woman has since been arrested on GBH and taken to police custody, and it comes after London cops were forced to break up 58 unlicensed music events and parties in the capital overnight as they enforced the Tier 4 lockdown. Millions of people stayed at home, but some some people headed to crowded parties to see in 2021. A lot of people condemned this behaviour online, and Met Police said that they confirmed the incident on Edgware Road. Photographs from the scene showed emergency vehicles and shocked passers-by looking at the incident. Bloodstains covered the road after the horrific and shocking attack. Met Police fined 200 people for breaking coronavirus guidelines last night, and Commander Paul Brogan said that the majority of Londoners stayed at home, but some people came out in order to celebrate the new year. And our reporter Dave Nathan went down to Trafalgar Square as well, where up to 1,000 people turned up for anti-lockdown protests. And along with several other parties that took place, as they said, 58 were shut down. Police shut down an illegal rave in London's Royal Docks. The organisers are facing a £10,000 fine for breaching coronavirus rules. The unlicensed music event was one of many that was expected to take place on New Year's Eve, despite warnings from Scotland Yard. Pictures from the scene showed the Riverside Industrial District showed officers clearing the venue that was littered with bottles and canisters. Officers said arrests had been made, but it wasn't immediately clear how many. Newham Police wrote on Twitter there was an unlicensed event that was shut down in Royal Docks. Arrests were made and considerations for a 10 grand fine were being considered. 60 partygoers came, and police said there was call to an unlicensed event on Kemp Road, Chadwell Heath on Thursday night. Police dispersed the crowd and handed a 10 grand fine to the organiser. And in other news in East London, a young man has been stabbed in broad daylight. Residents were advised by Hackney Council to avoid the area, and there was a large police presence on Amherst Road. Police were called to an address off the road at 1:15 today, Thursday, December the 31st. Officers were called to report to a fight and found a 22-year-old male suffering stab wounds. He was rushed to hospital, and police await any update to his condition, but they do not believe that it is life-threatening. There's a brief update of what has happened in London during New Year's Eve. I hope all our subscribers are safe, and I'm wishing you a happy new year. Please don't forget to keep supporting the channel into 2021, and we'll definitely try to keep you updated with the latest music and street news. Peace.